dear students. Welcome to online classes of Financial Accounting 5. I am Ms. Akila Pai, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, Sri Venkatramana Swamy College, Bantwal. Here in this session, I am going to start with the first chapter of Financial Accounting 5, that is Redemption of Preference Shares. Here we need to understand the meaning of two important terminologies, that is what is redemption and what are preference shares. Redemption is the process of repayment of capital. Then what are preference shares? Preference shares are those shares who enjoy preferential rights when compared to the equity shareholders. You may ask me, what are the preferential rights enjoyed by the preference shareholders? The first right is with regard to receiving the capital and the second one is with regard to receiving the dividend. The first preferential right says that whenever a company goes into liquidation, while returning the capital to the shareholders, first the capital of preference shareholders should be paid off and then the capital of equity shareholders will be returned. So that is the first preferential right enjoyed by preference shareholders. Okay. Then coming to the second one, that is receiving the dividend. Every year the company declares dividend out of the profit. So before any dividend is paid to the equity shareholders, the dividend of preference shareholders should be paid. Okay. So these are the two preferential rights enjoyed by the preference shareholders. So now I hope that you understood the meaning of redemption and preference shares. So redemption is the process of repayment of capital and preference shares are those shares who have preferential rights when compared to the equity shareholders. Now before I take up the entire concept of redemption of preference shares, here let me give you basic idea. A company usually has two types of shares, that is first one equity shares and the second one preference shares. There is a term called redemption of preference shares but not redemption of equity shares. Why? The answer is equity shareholders are the owners of the company unless and until the company goes into liquidation, the capital of equity shareholders cannot be returned. Okay. On the other hand, the capital of preference shareholders can be returned even when the company is in existence. The Companies Act says that no company is allowed to issue the shares for a period more than 20 years. That means all the preference shares should be redeemed within 20 years. Okay, they can't issue the shares which is beyond the period of 20 years. So now you understood that no company is allowed to issue irredeemable preference shares. So all the shares, all the preference shares that are issued by the company should be redeemable. Redeemable means those capital should be returned to the preference shareholders. So I think this basic idea is very much clear. Now let us take up the concept of redemption of preference shares. First, let's see what is the meaning of redemption of preference shares. The process of repayment of redeemable preference share capital to the redeemable preference share holders either at the option of the company or at the expiry of fixed period of time is called redemption of preference shares. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, redemption is nothing but it is the repayment of capital. So here it means that the process of repayment of redeemable preference share capital to the redeemable preference share holders either at the option of the company or at the expiry of fixed period is called redemption of preference shares. So as I said earlier, redemption is nothing but it is the repayment of preference share capital. So here the repayment of redeemable preference share capital to the redeemable preference share holders either at the option of the company or at the expiry of fixed period is called redemption of preference shares. So here there are two options, either at the option of the company or at the expiry of fixed period. Let us suppose that a company has issued preference shares for a period of 10 years. Okay, so here let us understand what is the meaning of expiry of fixed period. When that 10th year gets completed, the redeemable preference shares will be ready for redemption. So that is called expiry of fixed period. When that tenure of 10 years gets completed, that is called expiry of fixed period. Then what is the meaning of at the option of the company? As I said, tenure of preference shares is 10 years, but before that, maybe at the end of 5th year, 6th year or 7th year, okay, so the company has sufficient funds. In such a case, the company need not wait till the expiry of fixed period to get completed with the 10 years. Before that itself, by giving a notice to the preference shareholders saying that your shares are going to be redeemed, they can go for redemption. So this is the meaning of redemption of preference shares. The redeemable preference share capital will be returned to the redeemable preference shareholders either at the option of the company, that is before the expiry whenever the company has sufficient funds, or if the company do not have sufficient funds, they have to redeem the preference share at the expiry of fixed period by raising the fund somehow. Okay, this is the meaning of redemption of preference shares. Then let us take up the next concept, that is legal requirements of redemption of preference shares. What are legal requirements? Whenever a company takes the decision of redeeming the preference shares, they have to comply with some legal requirements. Okay, they are called legal requirements of redemption of preference shares. Now, the first point says no redeemable preference shares can be redeemed unless they are fully paid. In other words, only fully paid preference shares can be redeemed. So it means that whenever a company takes the decision of redeeming the preference shares, they have to confirm that all the preference shares are fully paid up. Okay, what is the meaning of fully paid up? If the face value of one share is 100 rupees, they have to see that the entire face value has been collected in order to go for redemption process. If there are partly paid up shares, the company cannot go for redemption. But in some cases, if they can make those partly paid up shares as fully paid up by collecting the remaining amount, then they can go for redemption. Okay, I hope the first point is clear. That is, no redeemable preference shares can be redeemed unless they are fully paid up, which means that only fully paid up preference shares can be redeemed. Okay, then let's see the second point. They can be redeemed either at par or at a premium, but not at a discount. Okay, so whenever the company takes the decision of redeeming the preference shares, the redemption can take place either at par. Now, what is the meaning of redeeming at par? Suppose the company has raised the preference share capital of 10 lakh. Okay, now redeeming at par means the company is returning the same 10 lakh rupees after 10 years. Okay, so that is called redeeming at par. So whatever the amount the company had collected earlier, the same amount is going to be returned to the redeemable preference share holders. Okay, now the second point, the second option is it can be redeemed even at a premium. Premium means they will calculate some percentage, maybe 5%, 6%. Okay, so now if they say that the redeemable preference shares will be redeemed at 5% premium, so which means that along with the face value, that 5% on 10 lakh rupees will be added and the total amount will be returned to the preference shareholders. So the redemption can take place either at par or at a premium, but not at a discount. Okay, they can't pay or they can't return any amount less than the amount they had collected. Okay, in the example which I gave, it was 10 lakh. They can't pay any amount which is less than 10 lakh. Either it should be exactly 10 lakh or something more than that. So that is the meaning or the second legal requirement. Redemption can take place either at par, that is the same amount can be returned, or at a premium, something more than that also can be paid. Okay, by adding the premium on redemption, but not at a discount. Then the third point says that they can be redeemed either out of the profits of the company, which are called divisible profits, or out of the fresh issue of equity shares or preference shares, but not out of the debentures. Okay, so now whenever the company takes the decision of going for redemption of preference shares, they will have two options to redeem the preference shares in order to get the funds. Okay, the first fund or the first option of getting the funds or raising the fund is to utilize the amount available in the divisible profits. Okay, and the second option is to go for fresh issue of shares, either equity shares or preference shares. So now the first option is using the amount out of the divisible profits. Now, what is the meaning of divisible profits? Divisible profits are those profits which are otherwise available for dividend to shareholders. Okay, so such profits can be made use of for the purpose of redemption. For example, if the amount is there in the profit and loss account credit balance, okay, which is showing a credit balance, or general reserve balance, dividend equalization fund, investment fluctuation fund, so such accounts are the example for divisible profits. Okay, then the second option available is they can raise the funds by making the fresh issue of either equity shares or preference shares, but they cannot use the money which is raised by issuing the debentures. So two funds available for redemption are, first one divisible profits, and the second one is making the fresh issue of equity shares or preference shares. So this is the third legal requirement. Then let us see the fourth point. If they are to be redeemed at a premium, then the premium payable on the redemption should be provided either out of the divisible profits or out of the securities premium account. In the second legal requirement, we discussed that the redemption can take place either at par or at a premium. So when the redemption takes place at par, whatever the amount the company had collected earlier from the preference shareholder, same amount is going to be returned. But in case of redemption at premium, they have to add some extra amount while returning the capital. That extra amount, whatever they are paying, is called redemption of premium on redemption of preference shares. Now, when the company is providing for premium on redemption of preference shares, that premium should be provided either out of the divisible profits or out of the securities premium account. So they have only two options. Either they have to use the money out of the divisible profits or out of the securities premium account. So this is the fourth legal requirement when the company goes into redemption. Then let us see the fifth point. When the preference shares are redeemed out of profits, an amount equal to the face value of shares so redeemed should be transferred to capital redemption reserve account. Okay. In case the company is using divisible profit to redeem the preference shares, they have to create one new account called capital redemption reserve account. Okay. How to create it? They say that the preference shares are redeemed out of profits when the preference share capital or the face value of the preference shares are redeemed out of profit. Here profit is nothing but divisible profits. Then an amount equal to the face value so redeemed should be transferred from the divisible profits account to the capital redemption reserve account. Okay. Understanding this concept, this point is very important because the entire problems will depend on this calculation. I'll give an example to make it very clear. Suppose a company has 10 lakh capital as a redeemable preference share capital. Okay. So here when the redemption takes place at par, they have to return the same 10 lakh rupees. Then let us suppose that there is 6 lakh rupees in the divisible profits and the remaining 4 lakh they are using, they are going for fresh issue of equity shares. Now to what extent they have to create the capital redemption reserve? The amount which is used out of the divisible profit to return the capital portion. Okay. So here 6 lakh amount is there in the divisible profit and the entire 6 lakh will be used out of the divisible profit. So you have to create the capital redemption reserve account to the extent of 6 lakh rupees. So from the divisible profits account you are transferring that to the capital redemption reserve account. Okay. This is the first example when the redemption takes place at par. I'll give another example. The same 10 lakh rupees will be redeemed but at a premium of 5%. So you have to calculate what is the premium on redemption. So 5% on 10 lakhs comes to 50,000. So now what is the total amount to be returned to the preference shareholders? 10 lakh face value plus 50,000 premium. So together 10 lakh 50,000 should be returned to the preference shareholders. But you have to remember that whenever you are doing the calculation of capital redemption reserve, you have to take into consideration only the capital portion or the face value. You should ignore the securities premium or the premium on redemption portion. Okay. So now you are returning the same 10 lakh rupees. You are just ignoring the premium on redemption of 50,000 while calculating the capital redemption reserve. So what is the capital you are returning? 10 lakh rupees. Let us suppose that again some 7 lakh rupees is there in divisible profit and remaining 3 lakh they are issuing equity shares. So what is the amount of capital redemption reserve you have to create? Amounting to 7 lakh. So here 7 lakh is the amount which is used out of the divisible profit to redeem the capital portion of the redeemable preference shares. So I hope this point is very clear. So I'll come again. When you are redeeming the preference shares out of the divisible profit, an amount equal to the amount so redeemed out of the divisible profit should be transferred from divisible profits account to the capital redemption reserve account. While calculating this capital redemption reserve account, you have to ignore the premium if at all the redemption takes place at premium. You have to just see out of the total capital or out of the total face value, what is the amount used out of the divisible profit to return that capital. Okay. Suppose the entire 10 lakh is used out of the divisible profit, then you have to create the capital redemption reserve to the extent of 10 lakh rupees. Okay. That is how you have to create the capital redemption reserve account. Then the sixth point says capital redemption reserve account should be used by the company only for the purpose of issuing fully paid bonus shares. Okay. If at all the company creates the capital redemption reserve account, in such a case the amount available in the capital redemption reserve account should be used only for one purpose, that is for issuing the fully paid bonus shares to the members, nothing but shareholders. The seventh point says redemption of preference shares should not be taken as the reduction of authorized capital of the company. Okay, by going for redemption of preference share, the total authorized capital of the company will not be affected. Now, what is the meaning of authorized capital? Authorized capital is the maximum capital which the company can raise from the public. Okay, just because the company goes for redeeming the preference shares, the authorized capital of the company will not be affected, it will remain same. The next point, if the fresh issue are made for the purpose of redemption, it will not be treated as increase of capital, that is increase of authorized capital. This point is connected to the next point. After the redemption, the company can issue further shares up to the nominal amount of the shares so redeemed. So here the last 3 points are interrelated. It means that whenever a company goes for redemption of preference shares, so it will not affect the authorized capital. In the previous example which I gave, they are going to redeem 10 lakh amount of redeemable preference share capital. It will just affect the called and paid up capital. So if they go for redemption, that 10 lakh rupees of paid up capital and called up capital will reduce. So whenever they go for fresh issue in order to raise the fund, that amount, the called and paid up capital will increase. Okay, but it is not going to increase the authorized capital. Authorized capital will remain the same. Okay, so these 9 points are the legal requirements whenever a company goes for redemption of preference shares. Then let us take up the next concept. Items of divisible profits which can be used for redemption. In the legal requirements, I said the company can make use of divisible profits. So let us understand what is the meaning of divisible profits. As I said earlier, divisible profits are those profits which are otherwise available for dividend to the shareholders. The examples of divisible profits are the balance which are available in the general reserve, then credit balance of profit and loss account, dividend equalization fund balance, workmen's accident fund balance, workmen's compensation fund balance, insurance fund, taxation reserve, investment fluctuation reserve, and or any other revenue reserve for that matter. So the amount which are available in all these reserves can be taken as the divisible profits. Okay, then let us see the next concept. So here, items which cannot be used for redemption of preference shares, they are the balance which are available in securities premium account, debenture premium account, forfeited shares account, profits prior to incorporation, and capital reserve. These are not the revenue reserve, that is why they are not called divisible profits and they are not available for redemption of preference shares. But out of these account, the balance which are available in the securities premium account can be used for providing the premium at the time of redeeming the preference shares, but they cannot be used for redeeming the capital portion of preference shares. So let us take up the next concept. Important notes. So whenever you are solving the question on redemption of preference shares, you have to remember some important notes here. The first note says, in the absence of information about divisible profits, we can assume that there is sufficient balance in divisible profits, which means that when you are solving the question, if they have not given any balance in the divisible profits, in that case you can assume that there is sufficient balance in the divisible profits. Okay, divisible profits means you have to first write the amount which you are using out of the profit and loss account credit balance, and then you have to write general reserve. You can there assume that sufficient balance is there, so whatever the amount required for redemption purpose, that can be adjusted to the profit and loss account and general reserve. Second important notes is with regard to proceeds of fresh issue. As I said in the legal requirement, in order to get the funds required for redemption of preference shares, the company will have two options. Either they have to use the money which is available in the divisible profits. If the money is not sufficient or the amount is not sufficient, then they can go for issue of shares, either equity shares or preference shares. The issue can take place either at par or at a premium or even at a discount. So we need to understand here what is the meaning of proceeds of fresh issue under these three circumstances. In the first case, that is issue at par, I'll give an example. 1000 equity shares of rupees 100 each are issued at par. So what is the total amount they receive? 1000 into 100, which comes to 1 lakh. So entire amount is received towards the face value. So it should be taken as the proceeds of fresh issue. So proceeds is equal to amount received towards the face value, 1 lakh rupees. Coming to the second case, that is issue at premium. Let us suppose that 1000 equity shares of rupees 100 each are issued at 5% premium. So 1 lakh will be towards the face value and 5% on 1 lakh comes to 5000. So that 5000 premium, whatever they receive, that will be transferred to securities premium account. Only 1 lakh will be transferred to share capital account. So here also in the second case, proceeds is equal to amount received towards face value only, that is again 1 lakh rupees. In the third case, that is issued at discount, 1000 equity shares are issued of rupees 100 each are issued at 5% discount. In that case, actually the amount to be received is 1 lakh, but they are giving 5% discount, 5% which comes to 5000, only 95,000 will be received. In that case, what is the proceeds? Proceeds is equal to net amount received. So here face value 1 lakh minus discount of 5000, remaining net amount of 95,000 should be taken as proceeds of fresh issue. Okay, so these are the important theory aspects which you have to understand in this chapter, that is redemption of preference shares. In the next video, I'll come up with the journal entries to be passed in the case of redemption of preference shares. Thank you for watching.